Left side of the infield shifts to the right a little bit with Dmitri batting. High fly ball to right center field deep to Jesus and Stairs on the run to the wall. Gone!
High drive into deep right. The crowd to its feet. Stairs back. It's gone! Hammered deep into right field. Did he do it again? Yes, it's gone!
A three-homer day for Dmitri Young on opening day.
I mean, Dmitri Young accomplished a lot in his career. I can't see anything getting much better than 3 dingers on opening day for any human. And there is this, a managerial announcement as Dimitri's going to be skippering a club in the still relatively new MLB Draft League. And it's good to have him on the stove with us.
You too, man. Go ahead with your grown-up self.
Yeah, all grown up. All grown up. Dmitri, good to see you, man. Congratulations on this managerial job. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on, gentlemen. It came up over the fall. Sean Campbell and Jeffrey Hammonds contacted me about possibly, being a hitting coach for the league. And I was more along the lines of challenging myself since I am a high school head coach at Cameron High School. I just wanted to challenge myself and see about managing. And I had 3 choices, and I chose Mahoning Valley, or Patrick Mahomes Valley. And I heard it's a nice area. I talked to a couple of reporters yesterday. I talked to the GM 2 days before, and they say they are full of restaurants, full of life. 4 former umpires live out there. The DeBartolo family lives out there. So they said it's kind of a hidden sports mecca.
Well, the beauty of the draft league, Dmitri, as you well know, it's a developmental league. It's for guys to increase their draft stock. And then it continues on throughout the summer after those guys get drafted to continue keeping guys to develop. So you are the perfect man for helping develop. You talked about being a high school coach, but what would you like if a player came to you? What do you want at the end of the summer when the draft comes? What would be gratifying to you as a manager?
Well, the gratifying thing for me would be them improving their game so their draft stock can go up, and teaching them the perils of being a professional ball player, playing every day, showing up on time, and more importantly, know why you're there, because, you got to have the temptations that are out there that a few of us have fallen into, but we got to keep the eye on the prize, and these kids are young enough to understand that this may be the only chance that they have to shine. So my coaching staff and I are former big league ball players, and we had our ups and downs, and that's what we're going to teach these young men, is to be able to choose the right direction, so to speak, as far as playing and off the field.
And, as Harold mentioned, and for folks unfamiliar with your career, you are the perfect guy for a job like this, Dmitri. And I'm going to walk you back to the young bull that was drafted first round out of Oxnard. You show up in Johnson City in 1991. I was telling Harold I remembered your car back then with the DDY plates that you had. Tell me how the developmental league would have helped somebody like you coming out of high school.
It's all about the instruction. And as you see, I was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, so they were excellent in instructing guys and teaching them how to play the game. Everybody heard of George Kissel, and I got a big dose of George Kissel over the day. And where this is beneficial is now you have guys that have played that are teaching the game, because the coaching staff that I have are also doing stuff on the amateur side. Bryant Nelson, he's going to be the hitting coach, and he's been doing great things out in Arizona, as well as Ray King. And we were teammates back in Washington along with Robert Fick in 2007. And just bringing that experience, knowing how to separate the game, because you got to have guys out there that, I'm just here to play baseball, and not enjoy the process of actually playing. And then it's a big community out there in Youngstown, Ohio. So I'm going to teach the guys how to become fan friendly and build a fan base. A lot of it is being approachable, having a nice smile, and then, of course, you got to perform on the field. So, my arm is going to be hurting. Yeah, it's about having fun with these young men and helping them progress.
I'm so glad you bring that up and people got to see a little bit of your humor. You got to have fun. It is a long season. And I'm watching now a lot of the minor leaguers come through, and even in the big leagues, they're getting in the park at 1 o'clock. They're going over all kinds of notes all day long. They don't play till 7. And it seems like they're just, I'm here to play baseball. And there's so much more to having the fullness of life in the baseball season. And it's just refreshing to hear you say that.
Well, I mean, I'm along for the ride too, so I have to enjoy myself. So in order for me to enjoy myself, I got to inject that into the young guys, especially the ones that are taking the game serious. But you also got to have the guys that are loosey-goosey and, out there to, baseball is secondary to possibly going out or being tied down. But they got to have that balance, and that's what they're going to learn here this summer, because they're going to be fans there, and they're going to learn how to play in front of a crowd and learn how to play every single day.
Hey, I want to ask you, Dmitri, about one of the things that you have a lot of fun with, and that's your passion for collectibles, and we see some of it behind you. You're a huge baseball card guy. And I understand, am I right about this, that you kind of unburdened yourself from part of your collection and sold off a big chunk of it?
Oh, yes, I did it back. Oh, man, this has been well over a decade now. But, yeah, I was big time in the card collecting for PSA cards, Gem Mint 10 rookies. And, because of my love for the game and the love for the players, that's started collecting when I was 7 years old after a baseball game.
Wow.
Go get a Coca-Cola and, get a Coca-Cola and a hot dog. And then you had the packs of Tops and Flair and Don Russ. I'm dating myself, early 80s. And, got the cards, collected the rookie cards, living in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So we had the Tidewater Tides, and that was the New York Mets. That was my favorite team growing up. So I got to see my favorites, Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, play before they got to the big leagues. And that is what drew me to baseball. And of course, I had a talent that my dad saw early on and, worked our tail off. And then my brother came along, and he's going to be having a baby today, his first child.
Oh,
so
nice.
Congratulations, Phil.
Oh, congrats,
and,
Uncle Del.
That's really cool,
Yeah.
really cool. Hey, I want to ask you real quick, we just got a little short time. So what was that like for you when you finally got your own baseball card, being the avid collector that you were already before you got to an older age, so to speak?
You know what? It was kind of cool because when I was in the 7th grade at Alabama Christian Academy, I would draw like Don Russ rated rookie of myself, and then I had the Tops All-Star rookie with the trophy cup, and then I also had the Flair feature stars, with the guy.
Yeah.
It was like me, and I had some made up dude on the other side, and when I finally got my own, it was like, this is cool, but because it's not. It was the classic card. I was like, oh, it got JC on there. I have a bad tape job, and so since that picture, I always took the Mean Mug picture because that was in the 90s when brothers wasn't smiling in pictures and stuff. And I do have one card out there that I'm cheesing real bad because my teammates were behind and making me laugh, and the photographer chose to choose that picture, and I look like this.
Oh, we got to find that one.
We'll definitely find that.
Hey, Dmitri, we love talking to you, man. Thanks for the time today. Wishing nothing but success in Mahoning Valley. This is really cool for you. And keep in touch with us, dude. We'll check in with you during the season.
Hey, thank you very much. And real quick, I have a golf tournament February 20th, www.achgolftournament.com. If you're in the area, come golf and help me raise money because I'm a high school coach and we need money.
Hey, we're going to have you back on. We're going to have you back on in a couple weeks to talk more about that. You got it.
That'd be great.
All right, sounds good.
Consider it done.